Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detrimental Actions podcast. I am your host, Rusty, for another episode. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. We got the breakdown of the race from Darlington. It got a really good first half, and then a lot of chaos, and then just dumb. It is nothing again, but what can you do? Um, got a really good second half there, and then we got the car rolling, and then had that monster performance, 1.4 second gap over everybody. Then Stixo had hit the wall, looked intentional in my opinion, and then flipped over, brought out the caution. We restarted first. I took the bottom. I probably should have went to the top. It's just dumb, and it was just our race to lose. So there's nothing much I could have really done. Um, Let me know if y'all have questions or anything like that. Um, if y'all have any questions, just put it in the chat. It's your breaking point in ERS, or at least a boiling point. It's just so stupid. I can't tell you how many times I could keep doing this. I really can't. I only came back here for the racing. Genuinely, I only came back here for the racing. I initially got banned. I had to rework my way back into ERS. Um, it's just dumb. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I can keep doing this. It's the same cycle over and over and over. It's just stupid. I don't. Man. Then we have the whole Runke situation and Nile. I mean, not just that. I mean, the racing at Darlington was great. That was one of my best performances I've ever had on an intermediate so far. Chicagoland was good, but I'd say Darlington was my best performance. 1000%. Should have won, but it's my race to lose, so I guess we'll go to Pocono, see what we can do there. I got a really good points day though, I guess. So I'm very consistent, but just I don't know what I need to do to get wins. I really don't. I'm trying everything I can to got great pit stops, good speed. This back-to-back weeks where I finished second place, back to back. Um, I think in essence too here. If Runke truly steps down, who do you think should be in charge of ERS? Dune. Dune should be in charge of ERS. I think if Dune gets put in charge of ERS, I would probably get promoted to commissioner as well. So it'd just be me and Dune running ERS as well. Kyle Chief would be a board of advisors. He'd get promotion. I think a lot of other people too would probably get some promotions too, or maybe even some demotions. I think as a collective of what I would do in terms of running ERS is I'd make it that so that the community is engaged. And we make sure that everybody's agreed on, okay, what do we want for in terms of tracks? What do we want in terms of if we want tire wear? We don't have to have tire wear. I don't think Kyle Chief would want that at all, because I'm not gonna lie to you, block cars with tire wear actually kind of sucks. So we make it so that the community is engaged, and that you know as a collective we'd agree one upon another. So, but as of right now, it's just like this. The league is being ran into the ground by two people who can't step away from discord and take care of their own mental healths. That's just my 2 cents on that. Agree or disagree, that's just the way I see it. Everybody in that server has seen the same cycle over and over and over and over and over, and it's like nothing gets taken care of. It's like, oh, it's just a slap on the wrist. Pretty much. Nothing you can really do about that. But, I don't know. I really don't know what needs to be really said or done to really change around here. I really don't. What was my thoughts on Portland this week? Thursday night when I was watching my brother race, um, he made a couple of mistakes. I mean, he's not known for the road courses. He's known for, like, the intermediates and the short tracks like I am. We're both equal that way. Um, Again, I'm not known for road courses, but it's as of lately I've been proving on the road courses. Like, I've gotten way better since, you know days where I couldn't even race on a road course. So I mean, but I don't know. It's a lot of chaos. Everybody was full sending in the turn one. They were hitting the walls. So I mean, it's expected. But we got Watkins Glen coming up in a couple of weeks, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But Pocono's this upcoming week, so we'll see what happens. Expectations for Pocono, honestly, again, as I said in my interview at Darlington there, I mean, there's nothing I could have really done at Darlington, but like, expectations for Pocono, we just need to be better. We just have to be better. Um, I know I can run good at Pocono. I just gotta time it just right. Hold on a minute. I gotta make it so there we go. It always does this. There we go. Anywho, again, we just gotta be better. We gotta run. I mean, we're getting top twos every week. It's the win is gonna come eventually. The curse, the streak will be over. It'll be a new era, and when that does happen, it'll be a good moment. But for now, just gotta keep holding up high. I'm running P2 in points, which is magnificent. So I shouldn't have to worry as much. Um, I just gotta get really good halves and just be able to contend for a win. I don't know if draft is gonna be coming into play for Pocono. I know it's a KRA model, and that's the models that I actually grew up racing on. I've won multiple times on that model. So I know a thing or two about Pocono, and I'm really, really confident going into this upcoming weekend. And hopefully I can get something going and figure out what we need to do to really have the best race possible, so we can lock ourselves into the next round and to fight for a championship and go to North Wilkesboro, Gateway, Talladega, um, see what we can do there. Do I think D2 races will continue to be a shit show? I mean, it's the same thing like, D1, right? I mean, you start out the race, it starts out slow, and then you have some guys who can't use their S keys, right? And they just do stupid stuff, but it's like, what more does, it's just like, again, uh, I don't think it's going to be a shit show. I just think, like, D2 guys need more, they need to learn their S keys and A keys and D keys. Those three keys, I think they'll be fine. They already know a W key. They know how to use that. It's the most easiest key on the keyboard. But like, I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, D1's the same thing. So I mean, if you're gonna compare to D2, you might as well compare it to D1 as well, because it's also horrid. You have the same four guys every single week who are, either putting people on the wall or just remotely just can't drive for anything. I mean, you got Lance, Nug, B-Rad. I mean, B-Rad's good. I'll give B-Rad the benefit of the doubt. The people I'm more focused on is Max, Cody, Lance, and Nug. Those guys I think are going to get eliminated in round one. I don't think I'm getting eliminated in round one. I'm too good on the intermediates, and I'm okay at Watkins Glen. So it's like, I think I'm going to be locked. I just have to have really good point. I need a really good point stay next week, and I just need an overall. Hey, Kays. It's going good. We're just talking. I'm just going over the Darlington race, and just talking about the whole racing aspect. Right now, I'm currently talking about the whole D1 and D2. If it's a shit show or anything like that, but um, I'm again. The racing's good. It's the same people every week that Calamity. I said this to Tech Kid. I said it's the same people every week that are making contact and whatnot. I try my best to at Darlington I try to give as much room as possible, and I try to be clean and consistent. But I just get ping ponged by either Cody, Max, Lance, or Nugfits every week. It's just stupid. So it's just like, I feel like those guys just need more practice before they go into the race. I mean, when I got off of work, I didn't have any practice whatsoever, and I still made it end somehow. I start off slow in qualifying, but then I eventually get things going in the race. What do I expect to improve next season? Um, Again, just be able to contend for more wins. I mean, Daytona might start out with the 5 car, the one right on my desk. I mean, there's nothing I could have really done. I got DNF'd. I made a bad mistake. I came down. I blocked, and that was my own fault. I was pissed off more at myself and anything, and I felt like I needed a redemption. And I went out the next week at Rockingham. I was kicking ass. I should have won there, and I didn't really go to plan because I got shuffled out by a bunch of morons, per usual. But um, again, there's nothing much I can really need to improve on. I mean, I have all the tools. It's just I need to find a way around these guys that aren't as fast as me or Dev or PC or some of these other guys. So it's just gonna be one or two things that what can you do? Um, But I'm also not gonna lie. Um, okay, you're contending for a D2 playoff spot and whatnot. So I don't know. We'll see what happens at Pocono. I know Pocono is anybody's game. It's anybody can win at Pocono. You just got to be able to push. And I'm assuming we're gonna have draft, but I don't think it's gonna be as there as much. And I know I'm gonna be top 3 car at Pocono. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I feel genuinely confident I can win at Pocono this upcoming weekend. This is my second. I feel like Alex Bowman in 2019 when he finished second place twice in a row and he didn't have a win, and then he got a win eventually. That's what's currently happening with me. Is where I'm at right now. I have top speed weekly. It's ever since Chicagoland I've been consistent. Darlington is one of those tracks where I felt confident going into that week because I'm so damn good on the intermediates, and I had a 1.4 second gap. I was kicking Dev Sister's ass in the last 20 laps. I was pulling away. I was fuel strategizing. I was pulling away. Nobody knew my lines. I was money. I should have won at Darlington. I should have. I had that race won. I had every fuel in the world to save. I was trying to save there a couple times. I think I was down to 683 with 6 to go. So I mean, even then, I would have had at least 83 fuel coming to the white. But I mean, I would have had this. I would have. I would have won the race. I would have had enough fuel to make it. I think just barely, but and my win will come eventually. It's the Skyblocks is my brother's going through the same thing. He's been so consistent all year long. It's just one of those things. His win will come eventually. So I mean, I didn't win in my first season in D3. I'll tell you that. Not a chance. But you know what happened? I got even something better than a win. I got a championship in my first year. Hold on a minute. Um, answer your question here. If ERS keeps having drama, do you think ERS could split, or are we far off from that? I mean, we've all had talks about leaving the server, but do we genuinely leave the server? No, we don't. We always find a way to come back. Honestly, I think what could happen is Ronki's gonna get too fed up with it, and I think eventually he's gonna leave the server, and I think he's gonna leave the commissioner role either to Dune or somebody else. And at that point, I think it's gonna be ball game. But ERS will be at its best than it ever was when those two people leave. I'm sorry I have to say that, but like genuinely ERS has not been the same. It just does not. The racing is great, the hosting is good. It's just in terms of community, they have a lack of accountability. They don't own up to it. They always have to use something as a defense mechanism, and they always have to say, oh, me and so agree, and it's like that's great, but it's like you two versus everybody else in the server. The numbers the numbers are they just don't match. I mean, we've all been through. Me and my buddy, we've all been through the same stuff. Yeah, exactly. If you know you're wrong, just admit it. Don't keep continuously deny because it's just not gonna work in your best benefit. It's just genuinely not. I mean, I don't know how many more times I have to say it. I mean, I went on a full rant in August. I was so pissed off to the point where like I've never been so mad in my whole life because I can't keep telling people who are running this league into the ground what they need to do better. I just again, it's just take accountability. I can't tell you how many times I have to keep telling people. It's not that hard. All you gotta say is, oh, you know, like I like if I were Runke, I'd say like, look, I understand I fucked up and everything like that, and I'm sorry, and I take back what I said. And just take accountability. It's not that hard. But it seems like with Runke, it's a different situation. It's like he just continues to keep fighting it like he's I don't know. Again, I'm not him. I understand he has, mental issues, but like, you know, don't put that on everybody else. Take care of that shit yourself and step outside. Just leave the Discord for a bit and then come back to it when your mental health is in check. But what happens? That does not happen. It just doesn't. It never has and probably never will be. So, do I think ERS will split? I don't think it's going to split. I just don't. I think it's going to come to the point where I think the ERS commissioner is going to actually leave, and I think that's probably going to be the bottom of it. As of lately, in terms of rumors and anything like that, um, I've heard speculations that I could be a potential candidate to be a commissioner. I've also heard Dune also could be a potential candidate to be a commissioner. Again, there's so much stuff up in the air. I don't know. So I mean, it's anybody's. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's anybody's ball game to be a commissioner. I just think there's just some people that just have that common sense and knowledge that they know what it takes. But we'll have to see. I mean, even if I do get promoted to commissioner, I still want to keep racing for a little while. I'm not gonna fully hang it up just yet because I still feel like I have something in the left in the tank. I definitely do. Two back-to-back top twos. You don't see that from me very often until I know I'm in my prime. And right now I'm looking like I'm in my prime once again. I was kicking ass at Michigan. There's so many races this season I should have won, but didn't. I am so incredibly good on the intermediates this season. So good. The intermediates are my playground. So like even the short tracks too. So Pocono in the playoffs I'm good at. Watkins Glen is the only road course I know I'm good at. North Wilkesboro I'm good at. Gateway I'm good at. Talladega I'm hit or miss. That is the only track on the schedule I know I don't know if I can win at. Homestead I know I can win at that. So the rest of the playoffs are smooth sailing for me. It's in my best benefit. That's just the way I see it. But this is a wild idea. But what would you think if Runke chose a few trusted people, made a poll, and let the community vote on and who the new commissioner is if he actually resigns? I think the majority vote is going to go to Dune only because I just don't think enough people were to put that trust in me per se. But I think if Dune still gets the commissioner role, she said that she would still promote me to commissioner to begin with, because me and Dune are very close. Um, so I mean, or we have the same mindset and everything like that. Me is so like as a collective, if it was me, Kyle, Chief, and Dune, all three of us, I think if we were to run this league, it would be 10 times better than it ever has been. Like ERS would be at its best. You wouldn't have anybody complaining. You wouldn't have everybody to the point where if all three of us came together and we had creative decisions and had people vote on it, right? I think everybody would be happy and satisfied with what decisions we would make. So, and I think we have a couple ideas that we actually did talk about yesterday, me and Kyle Chief, that we kind of threw around of what, even if we aren't commissioners, of okay, what could we do for ERS to, you know, what needs to change. And I'm not gonna lie to you, we would put tracks on the schedule that I think deserving to be on the schedule, not just to throw them out there that haven't been tested at all, or better yet, you know. But until that time comes, I guess again, there's nothing much we can, really do or say. So, but until that time comes, um, that's all I really got to say about that. ERS does need to change, and again, no, you're good. You keep firing away these questions. I don't mind talking about it. I mean, eventually we're gonna have to talk about it. So this has been the whole topic this whole week, right? I mean, yes, we had the race going on this weekend, Darlington, and then you had Portland for D3, and then we had drama on top of all that. So I mean, there's no other way you can't talk about it, right? I mean, it has to be said. It has to be talked about. So I don't blame you for dragging it on. But at the same time, I mean, it's got to be talked about. Who do you think the perfect host lineup would be for each division? It's a great question. It's a great question. So Friday nights, I think hosting. I think you could do. I think Dune would probably host Friday nights. Actually, no. I think. I think. Okay. So Niall, I don't think Niall would be commissioner. I think Niall would probably get a hosting role, and that's pretty much about it. He would be retired, and we just leave it as that. So I think Niall could be a really good host for D3, but I think we'd also have somebody alongside of him, so that way he doesn't freak out. Um, Saturdays, I think Dune would host. Oh goodness Christ! Wasn't idle for 20 minutes, you goons. Goodness gracious. I hate when it does this. I need to find a way to make it freeze. So for Saturdays, I think you could say Dune would probably be that one. Um, Sundays, I think you could also probably put Dune on Sundays as two. Um, but as a backup host, I think Zach could, come in and host for a little bit for, whatever division that may be. Um, I think you could also say Ty Cologne could also come in to host some races. I think he'd be a great host because I think he'd know, what to do and everything like that. Um, I still think, in terms of the booth and everything like that, I think Runke does do a good job with the booth. I think he does do a good job with hosting. In terms of managing the league, he's dog shit. I think Runke would probably come back just to do hosting. That's how I'd look at it. Niall and Runke. That's how I'd see it. No, Zach is very calm. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he's doing with Division 4. But that's how my lineup would go. Oh, lovely. Roblox is getting rid of chat now. Well, that's gonna solve everything. That's gonna mess up everything actually. Because if Roblox chat goes down, that's gonna kill the board for where results and everything like that. I mean, everything would be screwed up. Who do you think will win D3 and D2 Pocono? I think going into this weekend for D3 Pocono, I just have this gut feeling that I think my brother is going to get his first one this weekend. I have this feeling. I think he's going to get it. It's going to come at Pocono. His first one's going to come at Pocono. I'm confidently say that. I think he can do it. Um, he has the speed. He has the talent. I think he could. I think he can do it, and I think he'll lock himself into the next round. Division 2, it's anybody's ball game. I don't think Runke's winning. I think he might be actually getting suspended this weekend, so we'll have a different winner. Um, I think a real high contender you can make the argument for is Jonathan. I think Jonathan could potentially win at Pocono. Maybe even Buck on a late rate restart. Division 1, as much as I'd like to say myself, if I had to pick somebody else to win Pocono, I think that's probably going to either go to Jacob or PC. Other than ERS, what other leagues do you race in, and if any? Oh goodness. So I don't really race in a lot of leagues. I've actually kind of cut back on 99.9% of the leagues that I run in now, and I think, well, ERS is like my main league that I do now, but Wegna, which is like a mesh league, I'll come and race in there time to time. I used to race in Tyclone's league, but I don't think I do that anymore. I'll race in my brother's league, JDRS, every weekday, whenever that may be, but so I'd probably say JDRS and ERS. Bro messed up the frickin' board. Oh my god. Bro messed up the frickin'. Did he add two people twice? Yeah, he did. Bro, you're a moron. Who do you think has had the worst luck in ERS as of recently? The worst luck? Um, I mean, if you want me to be brutally honest, in terms of luck, I'd say it's definitely Buck in D2. He's 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 right there when it needs to be, and he's just not had the best of luck as of these past couple of weeks. In terms of Division 1, I would most likely give that to probably NASA. He hasn't had a really good he hasn't had a really good ERS seasons in a long time, so I'd probably say NASA. He hasn't been good since season 11, unfortunately. But I'm hoping he can, what do you think it will take for Buck and NASA to string together good results? Um, Practice. Um, you just gotta, when I go to practice and I'm watching people on the track, I'm spectating to see what lines are they using, what do I need to do better, and what lines can I figure out to replicate that. So when I go on the track, let's say I'm running at Darlington in practice. Now keep in mind I only did like 3 laps at Darlington and whatnot, but um I had a even then so I should have had the fastest time. I had the fastest car on the track. I coming to the caution, or no, I was by 1 lap it was 1 second, and then when the caution came out, I had over 4+ tenths more than second place. I put on 4 tenths in 1 lap. That is unheard of. Again, practice is key, is all I gotta say. But with me, I don't really need as much practice because I know how to run 99.9% of the tracks and just make it work. I don't usually run well in qualifying, which is I think why, some of those guys aren't really, getting it. I just think it takes longer for them to adapt the track than it does with me, because when I'm on the track and I figure out, okay, what lanes I need to, use, I kind of switch around my keyboard keys and figure out, okay, what do I need to do here? So like let's say I'm, going on the back straightaway in 3 and 4 at Darlington, okay, kind of use that inner lane, kind of let off, use your A key, back on the throttle, mid corner, and then bam, it's just easy like that. But what's up, Jamarcus? How's it going, brother? Just talking about the coverage from Darlington there, and you Tech Kid was asking me, what would it take for NASA and Buck to get good results, and I said practice is key, and whatnot. So, but yeah, other than that, Pocono should be a good race this weekend. I really do think it's going to be really interesting for these D2 or D3 guys. So, of all the tracks, which one is your favorite? Oh boy. Now, what is my favorite track? That's kind of tough because I've raced, a lot of tracks. I mean, all right. Honorable mention. I'll put New Hampshire as one of them. I do love New Hampshire. It's home. It's where it's at. Um, honestly, I think my new favorite track is Darlington. I'm gonna be honest. I think my new favorite track is Darlington. I mean, I've never, you know, had so much gap over somebody in my whole career in ERS. I've never gapped somebody. I think at minimum the most I've had is over 1 second, and that was at Nashville D3 racing against my brother. That's about it. But to put on a clinic in D1, even though I didn't win the race that I should have won, I mean, it'll sting, but it's just gonna, fuel me up for more for Pocono. So, again, I honestly I think Darlington is probably gonna be one of my favorite tracks now. I love just how everything played out. That's just how I see it. Here we go. Just had to fix that real quick, because Roblox likes to be dumb and then disconnect me from the game for whatever apparent reason it is. What track is your least favorite? I would have said Road Antioch, because I hate that road course with a passion. But as of lately, it's starting to grow on me. So, out of all the tracks, I'd probably say my least favorite. God, I did not like Indianapolis. That was my worst race ever. And that actually kind of surprises me because usually when I go to Indianapolis, I'm good there, but I just didn't have the performance that I was. I had too much lag. I'd go into turn one, I'd hit a wall snag, I'd bounce off the wall, and then I'd find myself, I'd keep it straight. I literally would press my D key to keep turning right, but my car would angle, so I would turn, the A key instead of D, and I'd mistake that, and I'd get into the death wall. And I DNF'd at Indianapolis. I was the final lap. I was in 7th, and I almost could have won. And lag said, "Nope, not today." I lag spiked. I wall snagged, and I hit the same fucking wall that I did in going in uh, turn 2, coming to the backstretch, and I DNF'd. I'm not really loving Indianapolis right now. I'm not really loving it. But if I had to pick another one, I'd probably pick El Dorado. I don't like that track. It's a good short track, but it's not my, if I really have to. What's your perfect playoff schedule? Oof. I would definitely keep Darlington as the first rounder. 100%. Um, I would put. Ooh, that's tough. I would put Darlington first. I would move. I would put Road Atlanta as the second race. Gives, some of those guys something to work for. And then for that last, first round opener, um, I would I would move up Talladega as the the last race in the first round. I would not put Talladega at where it's at right now on the schedule. I'd move it up. So that's just round 1. Okay? That's just round 1. Round 2. I think North Wilkesboro is a really good start out for round 2. That's great. Um I would also put I'd put an intermediate on there. I'd put Michigan on there. I'd put Michigan, and then to end the round, I would put I'd put Old Spice. Another round of Old Spice. I'd put that track on there as the eliminator into the final 4. And then I would probably for the championship, I'd probably keep Homestead because Homestead's always going to be the championship. I like where Homestead is at. It's always in my back of my mind the championship. But that is my perfect playoff format. I would probably also change some of those tracks I listed off too and put Richmond in there as a potential candidate, but that's probably where I would put it.
Christ. All very good tracks, keep in mind, but like, I don't know if that'd ever happen. That's just me.
Who's someone you think is underrated in ERS and who's someone you think is overrated? Oh boy.
That's gonna be tough. Um,
Underrated, I would probably say, well, if we're going by just Division 1, someone who's very underrated is Jacob. Very underrated D1 racer. These past couple of weeks, he's shown that he knows, he has the speed. Um, I mean, he doesn't have a win this season, but he's close like me. He's damn near close to getting a win. So, now who's very overrated? I'd probably give that crown to Max Danger. Overrated as fuck. He's not that good as he says he is. Um, yeah, he was fourth in points, but yet when he's going into the playoffs right now, he's washed. He's not that good, and I just think he needs more practice instead of just talking out of his ass, I guess. Now Division 2, underrated, I'd put Ariel up there. Ariel is very underrated. I saw his speed at Auto Club and I was like, damn, that kid can drive. Overrated. Um, well, I definitely would put Jaden as overrated. The guy sucks completely. Not gonna lie. Now Division 3. Um, somebody who's very underrated is Ski. Um, but that's just me. Overrated is Ken. I don't know if he's listening to this podcast. If you are, I'm sorry, but brother, you're kind of overrated.
and that's how I would probably view that.
We'll answer a couple more questions here, and then I'm gonna probably wrap it up here for today's podcast here. That's easy, mac and cheese.
Alright, we'll answer one more. Who do you think that is the funniest in ERS? I would probably say, well, in terms of somebody who's made me laugh the most, is probably my buddy, my best friend Kyle Chief. Guy is downright funny. Well, without further ado, that's gonna do it for me for this week.
Um, we'll continue on. Hopefully this weekend at Pocono we can, find, a way to, get the job done and hopefully bring home the trophy and lock ourselves into the next round. But without further ado, this has been Detrimental Actions with Rusty, and we'll see you next time.